Welcome to the course on how to write the perfect federal government resume. In this course, we'll discuss everything that you need to include in your resume to be found qualified and referred. A few points that we'll make are how to structure your experience. It must be month and year to month and year, whether it's full or part-time, and if it's part-time, the number of hours that you worked per week. We'll discuss how to use the job announcement to tailor your duties to every application you apply to. And we'll discuss how the duties must fall underneath that block of experience to use the date range to show your length of experience. Before we get started, you could help out by liking this video to help with the YouTube algorithm. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of all the new videos that are uploaded, and share with anyone that could use this information. The resume is the most important piece of your job application. In order to show you're qualified for the position, this single document needs to be tailored to each announcement you apply to. Luckily, everything you need to include in your resume is found in the job announcement. Without tailoring, you won't be showing your full experience. This will cause you to miss out on a potential interview and future job offer. There are two parts to the resume: the structure and the content. Now, what you need to get started is your resume and a job announcement. We'll pause while you get those together. If you need help with the entire hiring process from start to finish, check out our book, Federal Hiring Advice, Your Guide to Government Jobs, available on Amazon. The link to purchase is in the description below. To start working on your resume structure, you need to start with USAjobs and find an announcement. I'm going to look for an HR specialist position. And I'm going to filter down by agency so that I can find something I'm more familiar with, and then just pick from over here just a random one. Now, on the announcement at the very bottom, there's a link to the questionnaire so that you can see what you're going to be asked when you go to apply. But also built into the questionnaire is the resume reminder that's going to show you what you need to include in your resume as far as the structure goes. So that link is down in the How to Apply section near the bottom, right above the agency contact. When you get down to the How to Apply, you may have to expand to see the link, but once you do, here it is. Click on the link, it'll open a new tab, and these are all the questions that you'll be asked when you apply for the position. As you scroll down, you'll see this resume reminder, and this tells us right away that you need to include the duties that you performed underneath your position, be as detailed as possible. You need to have the month and year to month and year. You need to have whether it's full or part-time. If it's part-time, you need to include the average number of hours that you worked per week. And if it's a federal position, then you need to include the series and grade if applicable. And once you have this information, then you can come back to the announcement and look for the qualifications for the position. So as you scroll back up, you're going to find a section that says qualifications. It is right here. And this is everything that you need to qualify for the position. So you have the time and grade if it's applicable. In this announcement, it's open to federal employees, so it would be. But this is the section that you're looking for, is the specialized experience. And they almost always have this wording: must have 1 year of experience at the next lower grade. So the 1 year of specialized experience comes from the OPM qualification standards. So to take a look, we'll go look there now. Open a new tab, go to opm.gov. You're going to look at policy, classification and qualifications. Then over to the left, you'll have the general schedule qualification standards. And then you can click any one of these links to take you into the main qualifications section. And then you'll look for the table that has the position that you're looking for. So every position has the qualifications built in this table. So for each grade, you'll have whether you can qualify on general experience, specialized experience, or education. What we're looking for is HR specialist. The series was 201. When you search and find it, then you're going to scroll up to the table above. For this position, the grades are outlined accordingly with what could be applicable, and so the table reads or. So when you're reading this, this is how some positions are listed as being able to substitute education for experience, and then if they have general experience or specialized experience requirements. So the way you would read this at the GS11 is you could qualify on education with a PhD or equivalent, 3 years of progressively higher level graduate education, or an LLM. Or if you didn't have education, you would have to have 1 year of experience at the GS9, which is the next lower grade. Now that you understand your resume structure, we're going to pause to give you a chance to update your resume. Now back to the specialized experience section of the announcement to go over the content needed for your resume. So we already discussed the 1 year of experience at the next lower grade. This is also followed by examples of that experience. So this one is utilizing expert knowledge and providing sound advice in diverse areas of human resources, and so on. So these examples come from the position description. They're what the hiring manager decided were most important and what they're looking to recruit for. You'll need to make sure that you include these examples in your resume in order to be found qualified for the position. You'll want to do more than just copy and paste this specialized experience into your resume. That won't work. It'll take more than just some generic bullet points. Instead, what you'll want to do is list examples of how you meet these specialized experience requirements. An example to show is a more generic must-have experience with Microsoft Office. If you were to just copy and paste that you have experience with Microsoft Office in your resume, that probably would not get you qualified. Instead, what you would need to do is explain what you do with the individual programs of Microsoft Office. So you could say that you use Outlook to check email and schedule meetings, keep a calendar. You could say that you used Excel to export data and filter, sort, and do calculations. And then you could also say that you use Word in order to build documents, create memos, things like that. So you would list a detailed explanation of how you're meeting one of these examples of specialized experience. There is a rumor that computers are just doing keyword searches on resumes, and then anyone that meets the keyword search is found qualified. This is not true in my experience. When you rate yourself eligible, it's based on the answers to the online questionnaire that we looked at earlier. Then if you are found eligible or you rate yourself eligible, your application is manually reviewed by the HR specialist. So the HR specialist is going to go through your application and make sure that you've included all the specialized experience required, that your resume meets the correct structure that we discussed, and that you also included all the required documents to your application. And it's important that when you list your examples of specialized experience, it's as a duty underneath your employment history, so that the date range in your employment history is where the calculation is made to see if you meet the 1 year of experience. 1 year of experience is equal to 2,080 hours. Now that you understand what the specialized experience requirements are and how to find them in the announcement and list them in your resume, we'll go ahead and pause while you make those updates. So now that you know the structure and content needed in your resume, here is an example. If you're not sure where to start, USAjobs has a resume builder that includes all the fields that you would need for a federal resume. Starting with the basics, you're going to have your name, your phone number, address, and email at the top. And then you're going to do the same thing for your organizations. So you're going to have your company, their phone and address, and then this is where things get a little different. You're going to have the month and year to the month and year, and then you have to include whether it's full or part-time. So you can see in this company, it's full-time, FT for as the abbreviation. Then in company 2, you can use part-time. If you use part-time, you need to put the average number of hours that you worked per week. And as we discussed, this is to calculate the 1 year of specialized experience that you're going to need. So in this case, 1 year at full-time is 52 weeks. That's all you need. But if you work part-time and you had averaged 20 hours per week, then you're going to need 2 years to meet 1 year of specialized experience. Below all of the company information and your dates, this is where you're going to list your duties. It's blank on this template, but this is where you'll have a base because you should have some sort of resume that you're going to be tailoring to the job announcement. And the duties you can pull directly from the announcement. That's what I would use to grade someone's resume. So when I'm doing a qualifications review, I'll have the announcement up on one side, have the person's resume on the other, and I'm going to compare what they have versus what the announcement says that they need. That's how you're going to be able to be found qualified and get referred. But the way this works is the duties are linked to the date range. So if the job announcement says that you must have 1 year of performing Microsoft Office functions, if you put Microsoft Office programs down here, explain it like we discussed before, it's going to fit within this 1 year range, and I'm going to see that for 13 years you had Microsoft Office experience. And once you build your resume initially, you can use one job announcement to get started. You never have to take experience out. You would only need to add new experience in if the announcement required it and it wasn't already in your resume. There's nothing wrong with having extra information in your resume. Anything extra will help to make the difference between just being qualified and referred and actually getting through to the interview from the hiring manager. So now that we've covered through this example how to structure your resume, we'll take a break while you make any changes you need and then come back for the key takeaways. Thank you for taking the course on how to write the perfect federal government resume. Now that you're at the end, we'll go over the key takeaways. So in the course, we discussed all that is needed in your federal resume. Your resume must include the month and year to month and year and whether that experience was full or part-time. If it was part-time, you must also include the number of hours that you worked per week. You're going to use the job announcement to tailor your duties, and you must tailor your resume to each application that you apply to. The duties in your resume must fall under the block of employment with the date range to show the length of experience. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. If you need to work one-on-one, you can visit the website at www.federalhiringadvice.com and we can schedule a time to meet.